In this video, we are going to be looking at how to create shapes with our pie game. And the first shape that we're going to look at is a rectangle. Now, notice the graphic here. This top corner is 0, 0, and this bottom corner is 799 by 599. So what that means is our x-axis starts right here at 0 and goes all the way over to 799. And then our y-axis is starting at 0 and going down to 599. All right, so that is really important for you guys to remember, is that it starts at 0, 0 and it ends at the last location of whatever size window you currently have. Now this top corner of whatever rectangle you're going to be drawing, you need to kind of gauge where you want it to start at, and you're going to go left from the side over. So then you would decide how far over you want to go, and that would be your x-axis, and how far down you want to go, and that's your y-axis. So inside your pie game draw rectangle, you would have the word target, then you would have the RGB for the color that you want to use, your x-axis, your y-axis, then the width of the rectangle and the height of the rectangle. So let's look at that in our Python. So what we're going to do is you're going to open your pie game window. So I have my pie game window here, and we are going to make our code look like this. So the first thing we need to do is set our window size to 640 by 480. So we're going to come up here, change our window size to 640 by 480. Then we are going to fill in our screen with white. We need to create some colors. It says define the color green and red to make it easier to draw our images. So we're going to go right here underneath here, and I'm going to put in a comment that says define colors, and I want to define green. And remember that RGB means red, green, blue, so that means we don't want any red, we want all of our green color, and we don't want any blue. Next, we're going to define red, and we're going to say that we want all of the red, all of the red, none of the green, and none of the blue. And then we have our update, and now before we have the update, it says, draw a rectangle on the screen, which is our target, with the color starting at x1, y1, length, width, thickness. So we are going to type in what we have here. So I'm going to put a pound sign and put draw rectangle, because that's what I'm drawing. And I'm going to say pie game dot draw dot rect for rectangle. I'm drawing it to the screen. That's my target. Okay. I'm going to use the color green that I defined. I want it to start at location 10 for the y-axis. I want it to be 50 across, and I want it to be 50 wide. Then I am going to make it have a 3 pixel width. Then the next one says pie game dot draw dot rect. Again, my target is my screen. I'm going to use red this time. I want its location to be at 50 for the X, 100 for the Y. I want its width to be 80 and its height to be 60. Then I am going to make its thickness be 7. Now I'm going to draw one that's filled in. So I'm going to say draw a rec filled. And this time I'm going to say pie game draw.rect. Again, my target is my screen. I am going to make this one have a color that is no red, no green, but this time I'm going to use all of my blue. Okay, so instead of defining the color like I did at the top, I'm just putting the color straight into my code. Notice that it has parentheses around that. Then I am going to give it its X location, the Y location, its width and its height. But this time I'm not going to give it a thickness because I'm using the fill. And then I have my Pygame display update, and I have my while true. I don't change any of this. I'm going to do a file save as. This time I want to save it as Pygame RECT. So I say Pygame RECT. I hit save. It saves the code. Now I'm going to run it. And now I have a green rectangle with a small green line, a red rectangle with a larger red line or thickness, and then I have a filled in rectangle where it's completely filled in. If I want to change the location of my rectangles, I would change my X. So I'm going to change this to 90. I'm going to change this to 200. Oop, not 2000, 200. And I am going to run it again. Yes, I want to save it. And now it's moved my rectangles to a different location. So it starts drawing it at the XY axis that you give it, and it draws that rectangle where I've told it to. Now answer the check for understanding. If you have any questions, please let me know.